Okay. Let's do some tutoring. Okay. Hey, Jay. I am doing pretty darn good. I hope you're having a fine, fantastic Friday. Ooh. Assist in the med bay. Biology and empathy. Ooh, that gives us a lot of empathy. I think that'll push us to our first empathy perk. I kind of want to keep doing tutoring, but let's assist in the med bay once to check it out. Because societal collapse yet? Not yet. I'm really crossing my fingers here. We'll get an event so we can overthrow the current rulers of the colony, because they're not great. It's pretty bad, not gonna lie. Kinda don't like it. Your report for your first shift as Dr. Instance's nursing assistant. Instance was never supposed to be the literal doctor for everyone in the colony. All the colony's medicinal needs were supposed to be covered by the med beds, and then eventually with trained medical professionals from your generation. With a growing number of wounded and sick, pulling Instance's attention away from her actual work in the lab, hence why she needs the help. I'm a doctor, not a physician, Instance grumbles as she swipes through her hollow palm to give you access to the medbay systems. I can study the local xenofauna so it stops killing us, or I can treat burns and upset tummies. I can't do both. There, she says, as the haptics in your hollow palm pulse, you have access. Now, don't bother me for anything less than a cranial bleed. It's a med bed, not a jar of leeches. Just follow the instructions and push the right buttons. You need something? Ask Congruence. Congruence beams at you from her hollow monitor. Can you handle that? Oh, wait. Can you handle that? I can handle anything. Hey, Panda. Welcome on by. Oh, well, I hope you have a rejuvenating eep. I can handle anything. Anything less than a cranial bleed? Okay, sorry, I'll let my spine fall out. No! That's the spirit, Congruence chirps. It's you and me, Solana. High five! You gently bonk Congruence's panel with your open palm, and she laughs. There are no patients today, so you're gonna brush up on your first aid training. Every colonist gets first aid training starting in their early teens. Lungs gotta breathe, heart's gotta beat, blood should stay inside the body. Check. Also, Eep, have a good forward. Have a rejuvenating Eep waste. And yeah, another 4 more hours from. You run through quiz scenarios with Congruence for a whole week. CPR, elevate and put pressure on wounds, wrap broken bones, flush eyes with water, leave foreign objects in, be real careful with neck injuries. Fun fact, Congruence informs you, in the field, your hollow palm can discharge its batteries all at once as a makeshift defibrillator. First aid is important, but the goal is just to get the person stable long enough to bring them here to a medbed. That's where you and Dr. Instance will take over. You'll be fine. Might only be a matter of life or death. No biggie. Ooh, +7 if this is the only mental card. Nice. So I can't use card becomes wild. Yeah, that takes a giant chunk out of it. What if I do this? All right, that gets us to 40. We have a free collectible use. I can do a +2 to something. I can get +2, or I can draw a card. Let's draw a card. 4 is not useful. We'll take the W. Could have gotten 43. I see. Very well then. All right. New perk. Pay to remove core. Oh! Now we can thin our deck. Well, chat, I was building up kudos, but I think we can take some spa days. Wait, where's the spa? Pay to remove cards in the quarters spa. Where's the spa? That's not the spa. I must find the spa. Oh, right. I think this is the quarters, actually. All right, now we can really get in our deck. All right, so let's forget that one. What else can we thin our deck with? And get rid of this. And this. So get rid of our last baby memories, because those are low numbers. We don't have a lot of 2s. They don't pair well, so we're going to forget that as well. 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, 3. We don't... 1s is not so great. What else? This +2 to the right card actually kind of trips us up a lot. Actually, I think... See, it's 50 to remove a card, so we can remove 4 more cards. Let's get rid of this one, because I don't like the -1 to challenges. Let's get rid of... this 3. And this 3. And... Keep between rounds, +2 to the next card, +1 skill on physical. We'll forget this one. Because a +2 means we basically can never have straights. Alright, so that's... Our deck should be a lot more streamlined now. That's like... 8 cards I just removed, so that's real nice. All right, let's go back to tutoring, because I wanna help out Nougat. Fang flags you down in the hallway. Oh, hi Solana. Do you have a moment? You go on expeditions sometimes, right? She asks. At least far more than I do, or would ever wish to. So, would you mind doing me a favor? Sure. What is it? It's a small thing, really. To understand, it's not terribly dangerous either. Fang replies. I simply need you to bring me some hot-eye eggs next time you come across a nest out there. I'd ask Dice, but, well. She makes an evocative, dismissive gesture. Why? For science, obviously, Dang replies. It's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. Just bring me some eggs, or you can tell Chief Engineer why you're holding me back. I'll keep an eye out for them, alright? All I ask, Tang replies primly. They're quite common, if the reports from the foragers are to be believed. They tell me they commonly find nests in the Valley of Vertigo. Positively lousy with them. I see. Alright, we're gonna go 8. 8. Bada bing, bada boom, bada blammo. Super goal. Nice. On the dot. Hell yeah. Close to a milestone for reasoning. Alright. So we got one action. And then we're going to do the glow. I'm concerned that I might get a lot of stress. So actually what I'm going to do, we're gonna kick back. We're gonna relax. Ooh. Your parents' remains have been mixed into the soil here, nourishing the plants from earth your mom loves so much. Spent some time this month cleaning up around their memorial stones and clearing away the weeds. Being here makes you sad, but the kind of sad that makes you feel lighter when it's over. You haven't given up training Spoctoshroomus to follow simple commands. They clearly have the ability to understand that you're trying to communicate with them. There's just a huge language barrier. Cal gives you the idea to try clicker training, getting them to associate verbal commands with actions and rewards, using a clicking noise as positive reinforcement. May as well give it a shot. Alright, Aminal's challenge. Ooh. +7 if this is your only brain card. I can do that. Bam, balam. Nice, nice. 6, 7. I want to keep these to match. This is going to go to 11, so that's going to be sick nasty. This can be a 2, 3, 4. I can just do this. Alright, alright. +2 to cards with gems. Damn. So 4, 5, 7, 11. Right, 38. We want to get exactly 38. Noted. Perfect. Give me those 10 kudos, baby. Ooh, +2 aminals. Getting close to maxing out aminals, too. Success! You use the clicking as a shared language, and Spoctoshroomus quickly begins to respond to your commands. By the end of the afternoon, you're pretty reliable results from both stay and follow. This is great. Dreki must be more intelligent than people give them credit for. Maybe Dreki will be the species that evolves to be codependent with humans, like dogs evolved from wolves. Oh, we got an extra +2. We can forget a card. I don't want to forget the keep between, and I kind of don't want to drop the grand feast. All right, it is the low season. Spooky. All right, let's go around giving our friends stuff they like while I've got a moment. Actually, I think I've... No, for some reason I thought I've maxed out friendship with them. I'll give him some flowers. Give Tang her beautiful flower. No Don't see Nomi or Rex around, so that's unfortunate. I think that's a free crystal over there. Gotcha. Ha ha. Wah 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 wah. Okay. We're gonna save. Just in case something extraordinary. But we're going to go for that glow exploration. Ooh, there's an event right there. But before I talk to it, I can find bullshit. Oh, a manticore. That's gonna be great. Probably gonna be a combat, and I'm probably gonna suck at it. But I am not gonna waste this opportunity to get a whole bunch of free stuff. I feel like Perception 3 perk giving me the ability to just run past events is a little silly. Another manticore. All right, so we got 2 creature events. We have 2 goal events. Hopefully our stress being at 0, we can have some successes amongst all of them. It'd be really awesome if we could tame a manticore, add it to our menagerie. And then we'd have a menagerie à trois. No, not too much. Okay, that's fair enough. No one is allowed outside the colony during glow, so if you stay out of the lookout sites, there will be no one to catch you. Also means you're alone out here. If you get into trouble, it's going to be big trouble. We hope you know what you're doing. The familiar is unfamiliar during glow. The sky is dark, except for the eerie light of the wormhole. It seems so much closer than it usually is, and the gloom makes the shadows deeper, more mysterious. It's so hauntingly quiet, you can even hear the movement of animals. The beat of soft wings. A woof of something large in the distance. Oh, what was that? No, it's just a Dorbs moth taking flight. Its usually dull plumage is an iridescent rainbow, glowing warmly in the dark of the glow. It slowly glides through the mushroom trees. You've been taught to be terrified of glow season since you landed here. There were monsters out here, circling the colony and attacking anything they saw, but so much more serene than you were expecting. Maybe they were wrong, or lying to you. All right, Manticore time. What you got for me, buddy? You come across a sawmill that's been shut down for the season. There's movement inside, and something in there is yipping and moaning in pain. You approach it carefully and find that it's some sort of dog-like creature who's gotten trapped in the machinery. It growls at you and blinks its eyes. Then its other eyes. Then its other eyes. Boy, it has a lot of eyes. The loggers won't be back for weeks, so this creature will surely die slowly and painfully. It looks worn out already, but it's still dangerous. We're gonna release it. You try to come near, but it bites at you ferociously, nearly taking your hand off. You don't see a way you can safely free it. You sit and watch it, hoping to learn more from it, or at least a way to free it without endangering yourself. The creature's obviously been struggling for a long time. Once it realizes you're not here to eat it, it slumps down to nap. You feel an irresistible urge to do the same, and fall into something of a trance. And something bizarre happens. A massive shadow drifts into the lumberyard, coming between you and the creature. You have the sense of an immense presence. Something massive, but graceful. You're not quite sure if you're dreaming, but you feel rooted to the spot, and unnaturally calm, as if you've been drugged. The shadow stays a while, observing you curiously, then it drifts away again. You blink, coming out of your trance. What just happened? Did Did you fall asleep? You look back over to the machinery and realize the trapped eye beast is gone. You aren't sure if you should feel relieved or terrified. Was it freed or eaten? You decide to get the heck away from this place now and ask those questions later. Ooh, mysterious. Let's see what this other one has for us. You're crossing a section of wilderness here where the plants don't throw off as much luminescence as other parts. Oppressively dark here. You use your hollow palm as a flashlight, focusing the light as a beam to slowly make your way through the cloying undergrowth. The beam of your hollow palm sweeps over a familiar form, a manticore. Your heart skips a beat at encountering this fearsome beast in the dark. This manticore isn't the deadly killer of the colony's cautionary tales. Actually, it looks terrified. Backs up against a tree, cowering, eyes rolling in panic. Keep your light on it. You're too scared to move your light away, convinced it will pounce under cover of darkness. Try to hold your light steady, but you're shaking. So is the manticore. Then you realize it isn't even looking at you. It's staring into the forest to the right. You slowly grasp that the manticore isn't scared of you. It's scared of something else. It suddenly screeches in fear and bolts off to the left. You hear something absolutely enormous moving in the trees off to the right, where the manticore was staring. It's a deep, grinding sound, like ancient trees rubbing together in the wind. Except, there's no wind. You turn off your flashlight and hold your breath. You hear a single loud thump, then stillness again. You wait a full 20 minutes in complete silence. Gradually, the insect chirps and the other noises of the forest return, and the glowbugs drift lazily back into the air. You hadn't even realized they were missing, as if the entire jungle was holding its breath too. Whatever it was seems to have moved on. Alright, that kind of sucks. Stress for nothing. But let's see what we have at the thing we saw in our dream. Climb up to a plateau ringed with gnarlwood trees. The view is fantastic. You can see the entire valley on this side of the colony from here. You have a curious sense of remembering this place. Not from your dreams, but no, from a vision you had deep under a strange pyramid. Something important will happen here, but not yet. Your quest for knowledge continues, so you take some samples and analyze them with your hollow palm. There are wacky things here. Glowing mushrooms you've never seen before, and a strange amount of deadfall, as if there had been some kind of localized tornado. You log fake location data, so it looks like you found these things inside the colony. Utopia would be upset if she knew where and when you actually got this. Interesting. What are some of the other events at night? This area is dotted with huge circles of glowing mushrooms, each one nearly a meter in diameter. The bare grass in the center of the circles looks remarkably lush. Take a closer look. You crouch down to analyze the mushrooms, the species you don't recognize. Your hollow palm reports that they live most of the year underground and only pop up during glow season. This close, you notice the entire area inside the circle is sunken, and the grass has been flattened, almost like a footprint. What would be big enough to make this? You decide not to wait around to find out. You come across a strange glowing river in the sky, floating just over the mushroom-capped treetops. It reminds you of old Earth vids about the Milky Way or the Northern Lights. It undulates away to the left and right, like a river of luminous mist. Beneath it, a curtain of tiny glowing particles slowly rains down into the forest. Follow it. It seems to be denser to the left and flowing slowly to the right. You decide to head left, towards what must be the source. You stray from the path. The ground is hard to traverse in the dim phosphorescence. The river gets denser and starts to shimmer like the spore clouds you sometimes see in pollen. Careful not to get too close to the particles raining from it. The mist seems to be coming from something near the ground, somewhere up ahead. It's something big. Something big and moving. The strange river of lights is flowing from something on the next plateau, heading east, trailing this glowing dust. Some kind of spore, maybe, behind it. You could go down into the ravine here and try to keep following it, or safely cross under the eerie stream and continue where you're headed before. I don't know, let's keep going. After a harrowing trip through the muddy ravine, you make it up to the next plateau, only to find the Sky River has dissipated. You can't find any sign of what made it. Ah well. Ooh, spooky. Is this everywhere? I mean, there's supposed to be a down path, but I guess it's blocked off during glow. I guess this wasn't the time. You're just putting your boots on to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony's sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. Couldn't they have waited until you ate dinner? Rude. Outside your window, you watch the colony defense begin to mobilize. The hollow palm charms with the usual reminders for all civilian colonists to stay indoors. Yeah, we are going to shelter in place. Governor Lum is so confident in the colony's defense these days that there aren't even designated emergency shelters, so your room is the safest place to be. You post up in bed and scroll through Congruence's media library, intending to wait out the attack here. You wait a long time. Sounds of fighting don't cease for hours, long past dinner time and well into the evening, and even past the usual changing of the guard. In your window, you can see plasma rifle fire from top the walls. Steady phew phew of laser turrets, bright flashes fighting back the gloom of glow. You want to stay up, but eventually it gets so late that you force yourself to sleep. After a fretful rest, you wake to the realization that the colony is still under attack. The perpetual twilight of glow, it's hard to tell the time, but your growling stomach knows well past breakfast, and you missed dinner last night. While you're deciding what to do, your holopalm chimes with a priority video announcement. Governor Lum appears on the holopalm, looking surprisingly well-groomed. "Good morning, Vartumna," he says with a calm smile. "As you may know, the colony is still engaged in battle against the alien threat. The walls are holding strong, and our soldiers keep mowing those Xenos down, but there's no sign of stopping yet. All non-combat personnel are to continue to shelter in place, while our brave soldiers defend the colony. Non-essential work is suspended. Meals and other supplies will be brought door to door." He clenches his fist. "Stay strong, Vartumnut! We'll weather this siege together!" As he signs off, the colony's social media lights up with conversation. Mars and Nomi are excited to skip work and watch holovids. Tangent is frustrated she can't go to the lab and concerned for her experiments. Hal's worried about the fields. Only Vase and Nem are silent, probably because they're out there fighting. The permanent dusk of glow, the day seems to drag on forever. Again, you have to force yourself to sleep in the sound of gunfire drifting through your windows. When you wake up the next morning, you realize you can't stomach another day of being cooped up in your room. Your anxiety has congealed into boredom. Nem and Vase are either fighting or sleeping, and you haven't heard from Dice in days. Bet your other friends would appreciate a visit, though. Let's hang out with Rex and Nomi. Rex and Nomi are holed up in Rex's room, looking perfectly comfortable being cooped up in small quarters together. "It's just like being in space," Nomi says, snipping at a bit of folded up paper. "We're not used to all this wide open space, you know. If you're bored on a spaceship, you can only move from one tiny room to another tiny room. You have to learn how to make fun wherever you are." They open up the folded paper, creating a chain of paper figures, all connected at the hands and feet. Rex is puzzling over building some kind of birdhouse for a very big bird. He lays down a line of glue and presses a roof piece onto the walls. Honestly, it's nice to have a day off, he says. I've been meaning to build this Xenos house for a month. The construction crew's been working non-stop. You help Rex with his Xeno house and listen to Nomi chatter away. They're so calm. Maybe the siege isn't so bad after all. A birdhouse? I'm interested. Yes, Jay, a big birdhouse for a big bird such as yourself. 4 more days passed. You and your friends remain trapped indoors, forced to listen to the constant sounds of laser fire and rattling turrets from all around the colony. The Xenos never manage to breach the walls, but they just keep coming. Exhausted guards cycle on and off the walls in shifts, dead-eyed and listless. You catch a glimpse of Nem mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth, before seeming to fall asleep, sitting up. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you hear a curious sound. Silence. You run out into the colony square to see the soldiers returning from their posts. It's over. Your holopalm lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Num. The alien attackers have been defeated, he says. The siege has ended. Lum smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win! You're welcome, Vatumna! You're welcome, humanity! You're welcome? You hear and see Chief Rhett nearby, looking livid. What'd he do? He rants to his security officers. Race out there like an idiot with his honor guard? Defend strategically unsound positions? Put himself in danger so he had to save his overstuffed ass? The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. When I actually needed him, Rhett continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shits. Soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Lum. On the horizon, first days of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing corpses for their component molecules. That night, you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of plas rifle fire arcing overhead. With your taloned claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it into your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake, then you realize you've been pulling your own guts out of your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking and coated in a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't find sleep again before dawnbreak. Cool. Very cool. So cool. Start age 18. All right. You can't find Dice outside the walls, even though the duty roster has him working on the expedition vehicles today. After asking around, one of the crewmates points you to where she'd seen him disappear into the forest just 10 minutes ago. You thank her and set off into the wilderness. You've picked up a few things about tracking after hanging out with Dice for so long, so you follow his trail into the nearby Mushwood forest until you hear him speaking calm and slow. Shh, gonna be okay. Just let me help you. You follow his voice to find him kneeling on the ground next to a wounded Hopeye. The scent of blood and animal fear colors the air. Dice's knife glints as he pulls it from its sheath. Don't worry, says the creature. I've got you. It won't hurt anymore real soon. A branch snaps under your foot, and Dice's head jerks up. His eyes go wide, but he doesn't greet you. Instead, he gestures for you to get a closer look at the Hopeye. Its single leg is mangled beyond recognition from a hunter's snap trap, bleeding heavily. You can only stare up at Dice, defeat in its 4 eyes. It struggles once more, then goes still from the exertion, wheezing miserably. I tell everyone they're humane traps, Dice mutters. But humans lie, don't they? They lie all the time. The hunters won't be back to check the traps until tomorrow. Dice continues, looking down at the hop eye with a grim expression. I have to put it out of its misery. Aww, poor little guy. Dice nods once and steels himself. The clean cut. He slices through the neck of the hop eye. It tenses, twitching in fear reflex, and goes limp in his arms. Dice is quiet at your side for a long time, breathing evenly in through his nose and out through his mouth, like he's meditating. Better to die quickly than to suffer in a trap. There shouldn't have been a trap in the first place, he says, eventually. He clicks his tongue against his teeth. It's pointless. Going to die eventually, but not here. Not natural. Not the death part that bothers me. It's our vanity. Humans are so afraid of extinction that they'll kill indiscriminately to avoid it. Dice takes out a cloth and wipes the hop eye's blood off his blade. His movements are slow and reverent. I used to let it control me, too. Thought dying meant that living was pointless, he continues. But now I know the truth. Life is short and brutal and hard. Up to us to fill it with as many experiences as we can. We're going to spend our lives cooped up in the colony, subjugating nature because it strikes fear into our animal brains. He smiles faintly. Or are we going to get out there and live the only life we've been given? He looks down at the corpse of the hop eye and lays his hand gently against its head. We're all going to end up like this in the end. No use denying it, letting the fear of it control our actions. Never thought about it like that. Isn't it obvious? Dice asks, looking up at you. It's not like I'm out there throwing myself off cliffs. It's not like something I let control me. He smiles, genuinely. Because I don't fear death. I do so much more living. You should try it sometime. His gauntlets... I mean, they're techie gauntlets. They've probably got like various hologram and other useful stuff in them. It's interesting seeing Dice talk about this philosophy. You know, I know he has the gene augment to not feel fear. But there's actually... So, I want to say their name was Epicurean. They were an old philosopher in the umbrella of that would be classified as hedonism. Around the same time as, fucking Socrates, Plato, was espousing Stoicism. And I know a lot of people think when they think of hedonism, they think like sex, drugs, rock and roll, all that stuff. But the old idea of hedonism, if you think of it from a philosophical ethics, value ethics standpoint, was more like, if you think of Stoicism putting a high weighting on like moderation and, you know, I don't know, contentment. I'm not well read on Stoicism. I don't really vibe with a lot of the stuff. I don't really vibe with a lot of peoples that seem to jabber big about it. There's a lot of weird stuff in modern Stoicism that I've seen. But the old Epicurean hedonism, the idea is you want to maximize pleasure, and that is pleasure in things that are good, that you like. And that can be just like going for a walk, reading a book. And the idea is you want to achieve a state of, ideally it wants you to achieve a state of, like, I think it's called atraxia. And the idea of that is that you don't let the fear of death weigh you down. You know, it considers the existential fear of death as one of its greatest negatives, and you don't want that thought to overwhelm you because it gets in the way of having interesting, positive experiences. And if you're able to not think about that, you put it in the back of your mind, you basically are achieving its sort of a level of enlightenment under that philosophical thought line. And it seems like DICE sort of has kind of that same sort of ideas of like, you don't want to let the fear of death color your enjoyment and experiences of now. You know, living sort of in the moment. I think that's pretty nice. That's kind of similar to a lot of philosophies I tend to run with, or a lot of my thought lines. I feel like DICE probably takes a little far. You know, he's a little more reckless. But you know, he's been doing okay. He's been doing okay. DICE lifts the Hopeye's body into his arms and rises to his feet. The smell of death will attract animals right into the other traps, he says. I'm not taking it back to the colony to be stuffed into a recycler. You have to take it into the woods, give it back to nature. You and DICE walk further into the forest, in respectful silence, DICE cradling the dead Hopeye against his chest. Eventually, he tells you to wait while he finds the tracks of a predator, lays it down nearby, and offering the forest accepts without acknowledgement. He returns to you, blood-stained and solemn. It's done, he says. You begin the walk back to the colony, though it's clear DICE is taking his time. After a few minutes of walking, he turns to you and grabs your arm, forcing you to stop and look at him. Solana, he says, his eyes burning. Promise you won't let me end up like that Hopeye. At your questioning look, he squeezes your arm to the point it almost hurts. I'm trapped here. Just let me go. Okay. Kind of scaring me. DICE releases your hand and takes a step back. I'm sorry, he mumbles. Never mind. Forget I said anything. He stares at you for a few unnerving seconds, perfectly still before jerking into motion and fishing a pendant necklace from his clothes. He unclasps it from his neck and holds it out to you. Here, he says. You should have this. I want you to have it. You turn and let him put it around your neck. The pendant is large, but surprisingly light. You recognize it as a fragment of a Unisar horn, its pearlescent color shimmering in the light. Ooh, +5? It's ooh. We got an achievement, so I think we like maxed out his personal card. Thank you, it's beautiful. I didn't make it, DICE replies. Unisar did. I just put it on a cord. But thank you. DICE regards you with a serious expression. You're the only person in this colony that I ever really cared about, he says. I don't know why you bothered trying to be my friend when I was trying to push everyone away. Mouth bends in a shy little smile. Thank you for sticking with it, he says softly. You don't know how much I appreciate having a friend here. He steps away and looks down at the ground, suddenly evasive. Listen, I don't know how much longer I have left here, he says softly. I just want you to know that I want to spend the time I do have with you. Is that for maxing out friendship? Interesting. Nomi, here's your monthly crystal. We have holy shit, we have so many crystals. Good to know that if we have a bad deck draw, we can just throw some crystals at it. Where you normally find Rex and Nomi playing together, you find only Rex. You ask him where Nomi is, then he shrugs. I don't know. I imagine they were kind of under the weather. Probably leveling their Legends of Avamar character. You try messing with them on the Holopalm? You thank Rex and go back to your room. You get comfortable in your bed and load up Nomi's private Legends of Avamar server. Back on Earth, there would have been thousands of people playing this game. Now it's just a few brave nerds. Just as Rex said, Nomi's logged in to one of their characters. They send you a message. Hey, Sorry if you're looking for me. I feel super crummy, so I'm gonna spend some time in Avamar. I'm leveling an alt right now. To make a new character, I can help you with the first group quests. What kind of character do you want to play? Warrior, wizard, rouge. I think we're gonna be a bit of a wizard here. Log into the game with your new character. After spending a few minutes having a minor existential crisis over the name, you eventually give up and name them after yourself. Nomi is waiting for you with their character. Mid-race, an elven archer with long red hair. They jump a few times in your general direction. Your character is so cute! Hehe. Let's play. Ah yes, Rouge, the makeup artist class. Exactly. Okay, let's go! That's pretty cool. I like how it's doing this like overlay thing, like it's Nomi, and then you kind of see the facsimile of her character, their character. Do the first few quests with Nomi. Their character is a little more powerful than yours, so there's lots of time to chat. Nomi keeps up a running banter about their adventures, typing as if they're speaking for their character. Hear my bow, meddlesome creatures, the forest will miss not your presence. It's hard not to notice how much more serious and well-spoken Nomi seems when they're writing in character instead of speaking. You know you had it in them. You play along? Forsooth I do! You type back. Arcane powers, seal thine fate! Nomi sends you a string of hearts. You play for a bit, and you have to stop to sell your loot at the vendor, marveling at the accessories you'll be able to buy when you have some more gold. Nomi opens a trade window with you and plunks a necklace into it. One of the expensive ones. Huge increase in stats. Galactic. Thought it would look good on you. Heart, heart, heart. Close the trade window instead? Rude. You accept it. You and Nomi battle your way through a gnoll encampment and stand face to face with the big bad, Graz Mage Pelt. Nomi readies their bow. Heroes, we are called to battle! Battle! Oh, this is silly. I love this. Ooh, card gets +3. Interesting. So that could be an 8. Or 7, 8. No, it's dumb. We need more pairs. We need more pairs. More pairs. That's an 8. Fuck. All right, we just need 30. We can do a 30, right? +1 skill on strength challenge. All right. 25. 1 becomes 3, so now we got a pair. There we go. There we go. Interesting. What if I put it here? All right, it's still a 40. What if I do this? 44. There we go. Super goal. Wow, we could have gotten to 48. Interesting. You stand victorious over Graz Mage Pelt. When you click out of the loot window, you have a message waiting for Nomi. Our bond is greater than any evil that may befall this land. The power of true love conquers all. Nomi sends you a kissing emoji, then a string of question marks. Wait, what? It'd be weird. Oh my god, haha, it's just in the game. That's not covered with that. Not in the game. We're just friends, Nomi. Like, RP is still kind of a barrier. Like, it feels a little odd. You log for the game and open a chat window with Nomi. What do you say? Want to meet up and do that in person? Definitely seems like this event would have been really good if we were trying to relationship with Nomi. But they are just good friends. Oh my god, yeah, thank you. I had so much fun too. Lamau, maybe I'll use it for inspiration for my manga. I sure don't like anyone like that. Oh my god. Sometimes it feels like everyone's just a big ball of hormones here. Like all of a sudden everyone cares about who's doing smutty stuff. I'm just sitting here like, yuck. Think you might be interested someday? Okay. Sometimes it's like, okay, I might be interested in it someday, but I think I'd really have to like someone first, you know? Like Rex? Like me? Yeah, who knows? Yeah, like maybe. Or maybe not. Nomi's good out here. Don't really think about it right now. Just can't imagine liking someone that much. Or them liking me that much. Ha ha ha. Anyways, thank you for playing with me. Neighbors become wild. Oh shit. Ah, it's an upgrade. Kind of. Sorta. Yeah, Sometimes it's easier to talk about this stuff when I get to pretend to be someone else, you know? Yeah, makes sense, Nomi. Makes sense. Now, what about you, Rex? What you got to chat? I just noticed that Rex has, like, spikes on his arm. Damn, Rex, I think, does some body modding. That's pretty extreme. You spot Rex carrying supplies and big pieces of wood into the construction site at the end of the lounge, the future home of his bar. He waves at you. Well, as much as a wave as he can do with his arms full of mushwood. Hey, Solana! He calls out to you. Things are going great in here, thanks to you. I'll be done in no time. Take a look at what you can see. Rex has kept it all pretty well tarped up and hates letting people inside to peek. You can tell it's big. Perhaps a little too big. Ambitious, maybe, for a first solo construction project. Rex has had a lot of help from his crew, from the whole colony. He'd have to be able to find enough wood. I'm sure it'll be great. Rex comes over to you and slings you into a one-armed hug. Just seeing you makes me super energized, he says. I can almost hear the music right now. That's right. Bar's gonna have live music. You know, anyone who plays an instrument? I'm gonna work double time to finish this place. You want to help? Bring me all the mushwood you can find. Will do, partner. All right, so let's give Tang their flower. Oh, I guess we got an event with Tang too. You spot Tang heading behind the engineering wing and follow, only to find she's disappeared. Then you look up and see an access ladder leading to a maintenance platform by the engine turbines, long silent and starting to rust. Climb up to the platform. Tang's there, lying on her back and staring up at the sky. A hatch beside her leads back to engineering. That must be how she knows about this place. She doesn't acknowledge you until you're almost standing over her, your shadow fighting the overcast light. She blinks with the sluggishness of someone who's only just remembered it's a necessity, and licks her lips before she speaks. Do they need me in there? You shake your head, and Tang doesn't sigh in relief exactly, though her eyes slip closed again. Good, she murmurs. It's all too much right now. I thought... Her mouth twitches. I don't know what I thought. I don't know what I'm doing up here. What's going on, Tangent? Tangent suffs. Tang huffs a small laugh and folds her hands over her stomach. You know, they can maybe burned out. Or depressed. In Earth movies, depressed teenagers would sneak out onto rooftops, she says. I confess, I don't think I see the appeal. Maybe it'd be better if I had alcohol or cigarettes. She shakes her head. Licking out your mind with substances is what my mom used to do, not me. I know how to take your mind off things. I'm gonna talk about it. Tang smiles, self-effacing, and doesn't look at you. I don't think so, she says. Maybe. Will you sit with me? You lie down beside Tang and watch the gentle revolution of the sky for a few minutes. You feel the caginess seep out of Tang as you lie there in silence, till finally she speaks. You ever think about humanity? She asks, slowly. Humans are such glorious, beautiful, utterly self-destructive thing. She continues. They only ever create by destroying, and in turn they hasten their own demise. Tang looks at you, her hollow eye lighting up her cheekbones. She looks gaunt. It was the belief in human supremacy and unchecked innovation that doomed humankind on Earth, she says. Does it seem like we're going down the same path here on Vitumna? I believe we can do better here. Ah, yes, the gargoyle instinct. Ah, yes, very much, very much. Also, welcome on by, June RC. Why? -1 help tangent? No! I don't know what this means, but no! Tang takes a deep breath, lets it all out. I think so too. I just don't know how. Don't know if any of us do. We're only human. Sometimes I wonder, she continues, then pauses. Sometimes I wonder why we even send humans to explore space. Given our track record, you would think perhaps an artificial intelligence would have been wiser. No ego to get in the way, no questions about ethics or morality. After all, we learned in Earth history that when human colonists traveled from Europe to the Americas, they nearly killed everyone who already lived there because they spread disease. Tang looks at her hands. I just can't help but wonder if we're doing the right thing. The hatch to the laboratory clangs open, and Tang jumps. There you are, Instant says, just her head and shoulders visible through the hatch. Have you finished calibrating the strand sequencer yet? Tang scrambles to her feet and brushes off the seat of her pants. No, not yet, she says. I was waiting on the results from BH4316 and... Instance clicks her tongue against her teeth and raises a hand to intercept Tang. They're ready, she says. Need that sequencer ready for the G4100 samples. Her eye flicks to you. If you're done, she adds icily. Yes, ma'am, Tang says, cowed. Slides into the hatch after Instance. After her head disappears past the roofline, you catch a fleeting hint of an expression on her face you can't name. Oh, poor Tang. Poor Bean. I don't know why we got -1 helping Tang on that result, though. Kinda sucks. Definitely seems like Tang's philosophy is probably going to be a level of transhumanism. Likely wants to... Sort of like the idea of, like, with the transhumanism thought of a technological singularity, of basically being able to upload your consciousness into the machine, becoming an infomorph, existing only in a digital space. You know, more power to her. I'm wondering if helping Tang is sort of like a progression along those lines, if we help her become a robot or an infomorph. Hello, don't see many people streaming this game, right? Yes, it's fucking set its hooks in me and dragged me along. I've had multiple 10-hour stream sessions with it, and today's probably going to be a third one. So that's great, that's fine, that's awesome. I'm suffering from amazingness. I will say though, please don't spoil anything for me. Because I am going in blind. No, this is my first run. This is my first run. I've just gone 10 hours the first 2 times I played. I've gotten through like 3 years at a time in game. Because I just keep, you know, narration plus getting distracted, speculating, plus decision paralysis, plus crying over things that happen.